Okay, welcome back. We're talking about indexes, and so whenever there's a where clause or something that acts like a where clause, like a join would have to like go through and find things. So whenever I'm trying to find things in a column, either via a where or a join, indexes will really speed things up. And so you can have lots of indexes on a table. Like if I routinely asked for search on the last name, I'd put a column. I put an index on the last name. If I routinely did it on the date of birth, then I wouldn't put an index on everything. Just those things that you routinely do searches on. Okay, so it kind of makes sense. It speeds up a where clause. So it should be fairly obvious, maybe, that the insert command, which we're going to learn here in just a few minutes, the insert command doesn't have a where clause because the insert command always just puts things at the bottom. So things that have where clauses get sped up. If you don't have a thing that uses the where clause, indexes might actually make things a little bit slower, and I'll explain that a little bit later, a little bit going on. So, one more time. Indexes are great for doing searches, but if you're not doing a search, all you're doing is just populating a table, there's no searching involved, well then indexes might actually make things worse. Okay, good. We're going to wait to Chapter 10 to go into a lot more detail. All right, we're ready to switch gears. On page 348, we're going to learn yet another SQL statement. Yay! And let's start with doing inserts. So I want to insert some data in here. So here we go. I say insert. So it's kind of weird. Insert into, major. And here's one of those weird ones where you do it in a particular way. So the first line basically tells me what table I'm doing. And then the second line, no commas here, by the way. In parentheses, I give it the column names. And I don't remember what the column names are, so I'm just going to go here and look. Okay, so I give it the column names. So it'd be major ID, major name, and advisor. Dang. Like that. So I'm inserting into major, and I give it a list of column names, and then I use the word values. Okay. And then I give it the values that I'm trying to put in here in parentheses. So major ID, so this one was not an auto number, if you recall. So I'm just going to say 10. And I don't know, what do you want it to be? Let's do accounting. And how about Dr. Smith is... okay. And then if I wanted to do the next one, I just keep going. You know, like 20 is engineering. Dang. Dang. I need to learn how to spell. That's close enough, okay? And that's Dr. Jones. Okay. So, see how this thing works? I come in here and I tell it I want to insert into the name of the table, and then the column names that I'm going to be using, and then the values keyword, and then the list of things. So let's try this. I don't know why it's giving me a fault. Oh, okay. I don't know why I have red lines. Hey, what was that keyboard shortcut to make this thing work? Shift Control R. Control Shift R. Did that make it go away? No, it didn't. Let's try that one more time. Maybe I didn't have it focused. Okay, I don't know why it's not doing it. Who cares? All right, so let's talk about the rules. Hey, every time I say rules, that means you better be grabbing a pencil and piece of paper, right? Okay, what are the rules? I need a column list in parentheses. I need the values keyword, and the data row is in parentheses. You can have multiple ones. If you do, they have to be separated by commas. Okay, and I'm using single quotes for strings. Okay, good. Just an odd thing. Let's say I have a date format in here someplace. So let's just pretend, okay? I'm not actually going to do it, but what you would do is you would do something like this. You could, the universal way of doing it is like this, like 2022 dash, January 27th, like that. That is actually the universal way. It looks stupid, but that's the universal date format for entering dates with an insert command. Kind of weird. All right, I'm going to erase that. I just wanted to show it to you. Okay, so let's do some. Let's insert some more stuff. So I'm going to insert into the into the student table, right? Dang, I cannot type today. And so, what are the column names? Well, I don't know. I'm going to go cheat. That way, you don't have to look at this stuff. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Okay, so here's an oddity. Because I know that student name, student ID is an auto number, I am not going to use that. The whole point of an auto number is it fills the data in for you. If it fills it in for you, why do I have to provide it? Right? Okay, so I'm going to skip that one and go directly to first name, last name, major ID, phone 1, phone 2, phone 3. I tell you what, I'm not even going to put the zodiac sign in because in fact I'm gonna whack that. I thought I did whack that, but if not, values, and then I'm gonna go in here and put some stuff in. Okay, so this is Bob. You know, Smith. His major ID is 10, and he's got, I don't know, 555, 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's got 555, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. I'm going to put a null out there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and execute this, inserting this guy in there. But, hey, I'm going to, if that column's still there, I'm not absolutely certain it is. I'm going to hit refresh here. I thought I'd killed it. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to kill it right now. This is kind of a review of altering a table, I think. So, alter, dang, table student, and I'm going to say drop column zodiac sign. So will this work even if there's data in the thing? Well, I would certainly hope so. Okay, so now if I do a refresh on that, yay! Okay, cool. All right, so far so good. It's making sense. I'm inserting into two different tables. Okay, let's continue. Let's do another insert. I'm going to grab this as sort of like a prototype, so I don't have to think about it. It just makes less typing. Okay, so this time I'm going to use, let me start over here. This is going to be, I don't know, Sally Jones. Her major ID is 30, and her phone number is 555, I don't know, 5678. And that's the only phone number she has, so I'm going to put null. Okay, you guys ready? What happened? Remember referential integrity? I cannot add a major ID of 30 because I don't have a major ID of 30. All I have is one for 10 and 20. Right? Okay, that's why we're doing this. Okay? Good. So I'm just going to hang on for that for a minute, and let's go insert some more into the other table. So I'm going to do insert into major, and then rather than type all that stuff, I'm just going to grab this because I'm lazy. In fact, I'll grab a lot of this stuff. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and build a 30, and this is going to be, I don't know, CIS. And it's going to be Dr. C. I don't need a comma there because I only have one of them. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Blink. And now I'm going to go back to this guy and do this one a second time. And ta-da! It works! Okay. A lot of students get confused here. It's like, well, my insert didn't work. No, it did absolutely as it was designed to do. It was designed to make sure you didn't screw up. So that means when it comes time to inserting data, you're going to have to insert all of the data in the major table first before you can put student data in, because you can't risk the fact that some major ID doesn't exist. So the order of operations is kind of sort of important. Okay, kind of making sense? All right, let's just go through how we did this when it came to the student. All right, I did not include the auto number. I just pretended like it didn't even exist. Okay? Like I don't like it. So it automatically did it. Hey, let's go see. This will make sure. I'm going to go here and go select top 1,000 rows. And sure enough, ooh, how come this is not sequential? How come I don't have a 2? Ooh, because I did an error. When I tried to insert Sally Jones, it errored out and I had to go back and hit it a second time before it to work. Ooh, so auto numbers are not always going to be sequential, because this is a good thing about auto numbers. Auto numbers basically tell you we tried something, it didn't work, or maybe somebody came back and deleted it. It's sort of like an audit trail. That something happened. Okay, we know what happened. I tried to insert something that was dumb. Okay, and how do you specify a null when you're doing this? So if you only have one phone number, I just put null, null. Here we had 2 phone numbers and a third one was null. Okay? And so null is not actually a string, so you don't like put it in quotes or anything, right? It's just a keyword. Okay, so far so good? All right, so when it comes time to inserting multiple rows at once, that's okay. We did that here. We inserted multiple rows at once, right? Okay, you still has to be in parentheses, and you can put a comma here. Okay, so let's continue. So there are a few shortcuts. Well, before we get to shortcuts. All right, strings and date literals, okay, are done with single quotes. Strings and date literals. I showed you what a date literal looked like. Use single quotes. Everything else you don't put in quotes. Just strings and date literals. That's it. Okay. And for surrogate synthetic auto numbers, you just pretend like you just close your eyes and pretend like they're not even there, and the machine will take care of it for you. What about default columns? If I wanted to ignore, if I had a not null default and I ignored it, it would put it in. Okay? If I wanted to specifically say that, I could actually do something like this. I don't have a default here, but I could actually use the word default, and that would force it to go to whatever the default thing was. Okay? That kind of makes sense? In other words, I don't really know what the default is, but I just would know whatever it is, I want you to use it. And so it's slightly different when you have a not null default versus a null default, and I'll explain that in just a minute. Okay, now there are some shortcuts, and the shortcut basically talks about whether or not I need to have this column list, so it's not really much of a shortcut, is it? I mean, we're only talking about taking one line away. Whoopee! Okay, but it is a shortcut. And in order to do a shortcut, there's several rules. Ooh, did I say the word rule? Did you grab a piece of paper and a pencil? Good. All right. There can't be any surrogate auto number synthetic keys. Okay, that's the first rule. The second rule, you need to be providing data for all of the columns, which kind of means, right? That means you can't have a surrogate because I wouldn't include that, right? And then they have to be in the proper order. Now, I said way back in Chapter 3, I said the rules for a relation was that the column order doesn't matter. Well, here's one exception to the rule. If I wanted to do this using the shortcut technique, I could say insert into major, and I still have to use the values. But if I'm using them all, I could go in here and say 40, criminal justice, and I don't know, Dr. Robbins. Whoops, I forgot my quote here. Okay, does that kind of make sense? So it's not much of a shortcut, but it is a shortcut. Okay, we're coming up on the 15-minute mark. You know what we're talking about.